Welcome to another episode of the Entrepreneur Experience, man. We are on the roll. We are on a roll. Okay. You're here. You're here for a reason. So if you're watching this, I need you to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share it with someone because this is going to be a dope conversation. I have someone here with me. I consider a friend of mine. Um, Introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are.
Yes, I am hometown hero, better also known as the self-love photographer, your favorite photographer, BBW's favorite photographer. I got all kind of different aliases, as they say.
Okay. How did you get into photography?
Wow. So I started doing photography on my phone.
Okay.
About 10 years ago, I lived in Georgia. And I would just like take pictures on my phone, like garbage cans, and post them on Instagram. Like the world is in a garbage can, like shit like that. Like it was never of people. And fast forward, I was headed out to buy a new cell phone, and one of my good friends, who actually recently just passed away, he called me up as I was walking out the door. He was like, "Hey, bro, I got a camera for sale." And I was like, "Well, how much you want for it?" He was like, "Give me $250 for it." That's what I was gonna go put down on the phone. So I was like, "Yeah, let me get that." And really, ever since then, I've been a professional photographer. Ever since then, I started to learn, took a class with Kevin Allen and the amazing people at 510 Media called Frame. And, just kind of getting my feet wet, and really trying to learn the camera and study. And it's been about 4.5 years I've been doing it professionally.
Where Hometown Heroes? Why that name?
So I used to be an artist.
Okay.
And my name was Millie Ali because I'm a huge admirer of Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
And coincidentally enough, bringing it back to my buddy Kenzie, who recently passed away, we did Barbecue While Black together. If you guys are familiar with the Barbecue Becky thing, the Barbecue While Black was the response. So we didn't know that many people were going to show up. So I didn't get dressed. I didn't do. But then also we didn't have security, and it's Oakland. So I'm like, please don't nothing happen. Please don't nothing happen. But everybody governed themselves. But anyway, I'm walking around feeling like hella good. Like I'm the hometown hero. And I kind of stopped, said, I kind of got a ring to it.
So Barbecue White Black. I don't know if everybody remember Barbecue Becky,
Yes.
right? And she was the one who called the police on everybody or the people barbecuing
Right.
at the lake.
Correct.
Went viral worldwide, and your response to that was doing Barbecue While Black, right? And Barbecue While Black was at the lake, and I think that's actually the first time we met. I remember pulling up and popping my tent out there because I was selling clothes, and I can't remember who it was, but we had a mutual friend, and they introduced us.
Yeah.
And I think that was actually the first time we just really
It was
met.
interesting because when I pulled up, it's crazy because I know Oakland. And so when I pulled up 8 o'clock to kind of set up, people had tents already set up. I
It
said,
was ready.
and we never said, yo, we looking for vendors, but Oakland will be Oakland.
Yeah,
Like,
we trying to
and
get
I
our
mean,
money.
and I'm definitely not a person who's gonna hate on somebody getting me some money. So I'm like, well, hey, whatever. Let's
here.
go with it, right?
Let's get it for sure.
And like I said, 4,000 people showed up that day. And I was, like I said, 4,000 people in a small space in Oakland could be a lot, right?
For sure.
And it went, and not only did we take over the actual space that the incident happened in, it really went around the lake.
Around the
It was
lake.
areas that I didn't even go to, I couldn't get to because I was
Yeah.
over there.
Facts.
And, like I said, with the hometown hero name, it just, when I kept saying I'm the hometown hero, it just felt good. And then I kind of played around with different spellings of it.
Yeah.
And a young lady I used to work with, she's like, you should spell it like this because it's just straight to the point. And ever since then, that's what we
just
call it the
did.
hometown hero.
Okay. I like that. That's cool. So photography.
Yes.
You call yourself the self-love. You just said self-love photographer.
Yes.
And then you said BBW.
Yeah.
So BBW is plus size women.
Correct.
As a photographer, and you're shooting plus size women, do they feel some type of way you call them BBWs or plus size women?
I'm gonna be honest with you. There are so many. It's kind of like with LGBT. You want to be correct with pronouns and all that stuff. So like you can't say fat no more, which I kind of like. I can kind of see why they deem that derogatory.
Right.
So what I try to do is when I get around, whether it be plus size women, LGBT, like what is the correct, the politically correct thing to say?
Okay.
Because I just want to be knowledgeable.
Yeah.
I think BBW is kind of like, a fair middle ground, or thicker or plus size, because plus size can go a range of sizes and shapes and things. So, I'm a person that I like to listen to what people have to say. Because like with us as black folks, if we don't want to be called derogatory terms and we're like, hey, this word that might have been okay 20 years ago is not okay today. So,
sure.
I try to continue to be a sponge in that way.
Okay. So there's a thing of like photographers, videographers and stuff, and shooting women. A lot of times, I hear stories and I see stuff about women feeling uncomfortable.
Right.
Shooting with men because men are creeps.
Correct.
Right? They try to exchange photography for sex, or are they like passing? Are they hitting on the women that they're shooting,
Right.
and the woman just like, I'm just trying to get it, my
Right.
pictures taken and stuff like that. What is your take on that?
Well, I actually do content around creep photographers, because one of the reasons why I dove into this field in this side of the photography space. One is obviously I want to help black women love themselves a little more, see the beauty in themselves that I see through my lens, but also there's a lot of creep photographers. I've heard stories from women to be like, whoa, like, and I've literally had people tell me that they hired me outside of liking my work because I was the only photographer that didn't try to sleep with them, like on the intro call to figure out what are their needs and things like that. And I'm a human being just like everybody else. I mean, if a beautiful woman come in the studio, in my mind, I'm like, oh, she's beautiful. I'm not going to be trying to like hound her like a creep or nothing like that. But then on the flip side with that, there are some women who will try to make passes at you too. I've had that happen before as well.
For sure.
And I'm like, yo, I'm like, I don't do that.
So, okay. So you're saying that as a photographer, you are making women feel comfortable to shoot with you,
Yes,
because you're not being a creep.
Correct. So like what I like to do is before we even go, but even really before they even pay me, what do you need to feel comfortable? And I'm an advocate. Hey, if you want to bring somebody with you, boyfriend, girlfriend, cousin, mama, whatever, bring that person with you. I've seen photographers say, oh, don't bring nobody with you. And even as a man, I'm like, what are your intentions?
Yeah.
So a lot of times women like, oh no, like, cause it might be somebody that I know. They're like, I mean, I know you ain't on. And I'm like, I'm just putting it out there just so you know that I'm not trying to be weird.
For sure.
So is it music that you need to feel like whatever it is that you need? But I also sometimes have an assistant with me as well, who's more times than not a female.
Yeah.
Not necessarily just to like protect myself, but just again, there's another woman on set, but also too, like, us as men, like we don't necessarily notice certain things. Oh, your hair might be turned this way. We don't notice stuff like that, but women do.
Right. So, okay. So let me ask you this, because okay.
Let's go.
Let's get into it.
Let's go.
I want to ask this. Okay. You recently made a post and you were shooting people, shooting some women. You had your shirt off.
Yes.
You don't think that's creepy?
No, I'm gonna tell you why. Because I had a jersey on that day.
Right.
So it was my barbecue and white black jersey because Kenzie had just passed. So I think I went somewhere earlier that day. I was like, man, I'm gonna wear my jersey. And it was hella hot that day. So the ladies who were there, I'm like, hey, I kept saying it's hella hot. And the girls was like, well, just take your jersey off.
Yes. Okay. But if I'm watching you and if I'm looking at your page, I'm looking for a photographer.
Right.
And I go on your page and I see you with your shirt off,
I mean,
taking a picture of women, that look creepy.
Yeah, I mean, I think to the naked eye, now that I never thought about it like that. I think to maybe someone who's never seen my work before or never been around me, they would be like, why you got your shirt off?
I,
Like,
I'm not gonna lie to you. Someone hit me up and asked.
really?
I swear to God, someone hit me up was like, why is his shirt off shooting girls? I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna lie
I
to
think
you.
I think to be fair, we were outside, and I think it might have been like maybe like 7 or 8 women there, and I'm a person like if it's something like that, I don't. That's actually the first time I've ever done that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, are y'all like if I like because I ain't got like no t-shirt with me or whatever. They was like, shit, man, it's hot. Like, I mean, whatever. But I'm never a person that'll just walk in like, oh man, I'm so hot. I'm gonna take it. Like, nah, we ain't doing that. And like,
Jamil out here.
yeah, like, oh, I want to
Shirtless
get I want to
doing
get
photo
sexy for you and be the sexy. Like, nah, we ain't doing none of that. I'm always like, even during the shoots, are you okay? Like, just different things like that. What do you need? Do you need to take a break? All these different things. Just for the sake of like, that's naturally who I am as a person. It's not just for the business. And I think women appreciate that.
Okay.
But like you're right. But to somebody who's never shot me before, they be like, "Yo, like what you on?"
It can look like that, right?
It can look like that. So I definitely, I probably wouldn't do that again. But yeah, it was real hot that day.
Okay. So then let me ask this. And it's a fallacy out there that bigger women are less confident in themselves, right? And so then if someone is looking at you and you're doing photo shoots with plus size women,
Right.
have you ever thought maybe someone look at you like you're preying on like plus size women or anything like that? And I'm not saying that you are,
No, I
but
got
I'm
you.
just having the conversation with you because we work together.
For sure.
Right. And I just want, number one, to just have this conversation, but also clear the air if anybody's watching.
For sure.
Well, not if anybody's watching, because we're going to have people watching, right? But I just want, people have that perception is everything.
I agree.
Right, as an entrepreneur, and I don't want nobody to perceive you in any type of way, and so I just want to like address those different things
For sure.
For you, and so it's just like, all right, well, you're shooting content with plus size women, so it's like, are you doing that because you trying to like get them or anything like that? Or I don't know. I'm just asking.
So like, I'll give you some context. So all my friends that know me, I've always admired plus size women.
Okay.
I probably had 2 skinny girlfriends in my whole life, straight up. Like my first 2 girlfriends.
You like what you like.
Like what you like. And so for me, like even about 6 or 7 years ago, we started doing these plus size ladies parties, because what I would notice, I would go to the club and they got these skinny girls on the flyer, but it'd be mostly big girls in the club.
Okay.
So I'm like, why don't we do something to put the plus size women on to make them feel inclusive, right?
Sure.
But then like it would go up and down, guys be acting like they don't like plus size girl. They trying to like, and it's like, dude, it's okay, bro. Like
For sure.
But moving into the photography, for me, it was just really about self-love all around. I mean, my target audience is black women, but that doesn't mean I only shoot black women. And sometimes a lot of them just happen to be plus size. That's just the world that we live in now. And so for me, what I have learned, not all plus size women have low self-esteem. I know some big women that, man, they probably got more high self-esteem than me.
Right.
So, I think, and even with my shoots, when I say self-love, that don't necessarily mean like, oh, I'm feeling down about myself, I hate myself. It might just be you need to remind yourself that you that woman. A lot of times women have children, they get a divorce or they get married, they kind of get settled into married life, or or even if they're single, they just kind of in the rat race, right?
Yeah.
And they forget about themselves. And so working with me is a way for them to kind of just honor themselves, appreciate themselves. In that way. And like I always tell my client, it's just me, you, and the camera.
Yeah.
That's really all it is.
I like that.
We got a
That's
little
cool.
music and, whatever you need to feel comfortable. But that's also why I ask my clients, so what music makes you feel like a baddie? Or if we're doing something more sexy, okay, what music makes you get into your sexy vibe? And maybe not necessarily sexual, but
Right.
like just
Sexy vibe.
like a
It's a
sexy
sexy
vibe.
photo shoot.
Exactly.
So
So,
you wanna have
like,
sexy vibes.
you know,
I
you
feel
get
that.
the Beyonces, the Nicki Minaj, the Megan Thee Stallions, now the Glorillas, some sexy red as well.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, hey, let's go with it.
Okay. So, as a photographer, obviously entrepreneur, do you, if you rated yourself on a 0 to 10 scale of how well your pictures are, what would you rate yourself?
If I'm gonna be very honest with myself, because I am my worst critic, I would say about a 7 to 8 because I look at other photographers.
That's pretty high though.
I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, I know that I'm a dope photographer, but I know that there's peaks, or not peaks and valleys. There's other heights that I want to ascend to. So I look at someone like a Kevin Allen or DeMondre Ward or just other photographers from all over the country on Instagram, and I'd be like, how did they do that? Like,
Yeah.
I'm a student of the art. And I think that's important. You gotta become a student. And I'm a person, like, I'll slide in somebody DM me like, hey bro, I really I love that picture, or hey sis, I love that picture. How did you do that? Some people are receptive. They'll
Yeah.
give you the information. Some people are like, man, go
people
find it on YouTube or
Yeah.
go learn it for yourself. And I'm also a person where, I have other photographers that I work with. I don't want to say they work under me, but they work beside me, who they're kind of in the beginning of their journey. They ask me, well, how did you do that? I give them the information.
Yeah.
Because you might turn around and do that same thing better than me, so I can learn it again from you.
For sure.
So
For sure. Okay, so 7 to 8 is pretty high. So let me ask this: as you, okay, when I look at your pictures, right? So in this content creation, social media world,
yes,
I work with a lot of photographers and videographers, right?
yes.
You're on the expensive side.
Some people could say that.
You are kind of on the expensive side.
Some people. I actually had a girl walk up to me in a club, and she was like, "I know you," and I was like, "You do?" And sometimes, like, I don't remember everybody say, but I'm very nice to people,
Right.
And she was like, "I be wanting to shoot with you so bad, but you so expensive." And I used to always say affordable was a word for broke people, but then I realized that could be a little demeaning.
Okay.
To everyday folks. But then what I've started doing, actually, just through EMC, learning, like, I started taking Afterpay.
Right.
And because I looked at it like on the other side, like, you say I'm expensive, like, let's say I'm doing $300 for a shoot, just for example, and you tell me I'm too expensive, but you just went and bought the new Jordans that cost $300.
That is true.
So it's like, you don't tell Foot Locker that they cost you, you're gonna go get what you want.
Yeah.
But then also too, what I tell people, you're not just getting pictures from me, you're getting an experience.
I like that.
So for
what,
me,
what is, you say that, but what is the experience?
so the experience is I'm walking in like really full self-love on display.
Yeah.
Not like necessarily cocky for me, but like I'm a person where like I'm hyping my clients up and it's real. Like it's not, oh, like I'm just doing it because you paid me. Like I'm like, oh girl, that pose, stop right there. Hold on. Keep that pose. Oh, and then I'll show my clients the photo as we're shooting them so they can see I look beautiful. Like, or I look, and like, wait till I put the sauce on it, which is the edit. I've had people ask me, can you take 50 pounds off? And I'm like, yeah, I can, but you're going to look,
can.
yeah, but you're going to look crazy. But then also tell people, like I tell my clients, did you go to sleep with that body, that stomach that you have? Yes. Did you wake up this morning with that body? Yes. Okay, embrace it while you have it. If you want to change it, great. I'm all for that. But while you have it, let's embrace it where we are.
Yeah.
And like I said, as far as like on the pricing side, like I said, I like to give an experience because some people just walk in the studio, ain't no music going, ain't no nothing. They don't offer the client nothing. They're like, yeah, let's just take the pictures and go. And you get your basic little edits, and that's it. And I want people to walk away.
You want them to, okay.
Yeah, I want them to walk away like, damn, like that was a great experience.
For sure. I feel that. Okay. Let's say it's 5 of y'all. Let's say it's 5 photographers in Oakland. Let's just say there's 5. And you're one of those 5. And someone looks at your pictures and someone look at someone else's pictures, and then they think like, oh, I like their pictures better and they're less expensive, right?
Yeah.
And so you as a entrepreneur, that's you have to look at the market, right?
For
As
sure.
an entrepreneur, we have to look at the market. We have to see what the people are doing, and so you're confident in yourself.
For sure.
And that's a great thing.
Right.
And so it's just like, what can you tell people, or let's say someone else is watching this, and they want to get in the photography business, but they're scared to charge their worth.
Right.
What gives you the confidence to charge your worth?
I
Would
mean,
you say?
I saw an interview and I can't remember who it was, but I know it was a photographer, and they said what about charging your worth. I don't necessarily know what number is my worth, but I know what number is what I'm not worthy
What
of.
you're not gonna do.
And so I say to photographers or anybody in the entrepreneur space, the worst thing somebody can tell you is no.
Yeah.
And if they say, hey, I'm not ready right now, or that's a little too expensive for me. Like, I've had people reach out to me and say, hey, I've been watching you for 6 months. I really want to shoot with you. They ask the basic questions or whatever. And they're like, okay, well, I'm not going to be ready until September. Okay, no problem.
Hit me then.
It hit me then. It's all
me
good.
then, for
Like, or
sure.
like, if they go with somebody else, like, I mean, that's fine. That just means that maybe I wasn't meant to shoot with them right now.
Then.
So, like, I've been usually nervous to send out my prices to people, but I created a package sheet, and actually one of our EMC members reached out to me to book a shoot. So she's like, oh, how much do you charge and all that stuff? So I sent her my package. I was nervous as hell.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, man, she gonna choose the cheapest one. She was, and she was like, I'll go with package 2. I was like, really? Like, to myself.
Damn.
Like, and I was
dope.
like, so really what it is, I said to that point, it's kind of like, again, you put it out there. The worst thing somebody can tell you is no, not right now. But then, like, I started to kind of put out the feelers of like, oh, I'll take Afterpay. Like the young lady reached out to me and she was like, I want package number 2. And I told her, I said, if it's a situation, you get ready to have a baby, so I know babies are expensive. I do offer Afterpay as well.
Yeah.
If you want that as well. And she like, really? She didn't even know what Afterpay was. And so I explained it to her, showed her how to set it up and everything. She was like, most people would have did that. I was like, well, I mean, if you don't, like, why take you through, you have to go on YouTube, figure it out when I can just tell you in 3 minutes how to do it. So
So I don't know the terms and the different meanings of different photography, but your pictures are more on the darker side. And when I say darker, that I mean like bright as like light to dark, not like evil dark.
yeah. I'm about to say dark.
I see your pictures, and your pictures are more on the darker scale. Is that purposely? Is that just how you shoot? Because I know there's different styles.
Sometimes, when I started, I didn't have a style. Like, I wasn't even doing the self. Like, I was just taking pictures of people. I did a wedding one time, and God bless these people. Like, it was like a last minute thing. And when I looking back or looking at what I can do now, compared, I'm like, then people pay me like, they might have gave me like $300. And it was like a little small wedding in the park. It was an LGBT wedding. And I like,
keep leaving the Q off.
Oh, LGBTQIA plus.
I don't know all that other
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I like that Q. Where's the Q at?
So I did this wedding, and the gentleman, he was like, we love it. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I hate this. Like, but I was like, hey, if the client like it, whatever. But to answer your question, I didn't have a style. Like, I'm even still like now today learning like different lighting styles and stuff. So sometimes like I'll shoot something, and then when we take it into editing, I'm like, yo, this look kind of dope. But then it's like also about discovering your own style. Stylistically, I think I'm still searching.
For sure.
Even though I know what my target audience is, I'm still searching just to like, but also playing with different styles, and then also listening to the client as well. Trying to figure out what they want, what are their needs. Oh, I'm doing a maternity shoot. Okay, it needs to be bright. It needs to be because brightness resembles happiness. Or I want to do like I've had people ask me stuff like, "Oh, my child's father passed away.
Right.
I want to do family pictures with my child or children, but I want to add my foot. Can you do that? We can do that
add
as
them
well,
to it, for
but
sure.
because it's a somber thing, okay, we'll shoot it in this style." So a lot of times, I also tell my clients, if you have ideas of what you want, like if you've seen something that you like, while I won't duplicate another creator's work, I can,
Show you.
okay, I see what we can do there. Okay, I like that, but we can do this better. Like, and find something in it to where we can create our own original style. But yeah, so I guess to your point, I mean, it's not necessarily purposeful. Sometimes it just kind of come out that way, and like we just roll with it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I didn't know, right? And so it's just like I don't know everything, and so
same.
it's just like I just always wondered because it's an art,
It
right?
is.
And being a photographer, you're an artist, and so it's just like there's different form of art.
For sure.
So I was just curious on that and like which
Yeah.
way it was or what does it mean, right? Let me ask you this okay, so you being a photographer, what is some things that you feel that you can work on to become better?
Definitely my lighting skills.
Okay.
I know we talked about the EMC where I was like, oh, I hire editor sometime, and you said you're your best editor. So what I'm learning to do is really do those super high end edits, not
Okay.
necessarily just for like, oh, I want to cut out an editor, but just in this,
So I'm sorry to cut you off. So you shoot it and you pay somebody else to edit it?
Sometimes I'll edit it myself, depending on what kind of shoot it is. But other times I will hire somebody.
Doesn't that so if you hire somebody else to edit, doesn't that takes away cost, that takes away profit from you, obviously,
Yeah.
right? And so would it be better to just do it yourself?
Yeah, in a lot of ways. I actually downloaded a program where you could pay I think it's like $87 for like 1,200 credits, and so I've been like practicing with that, whether it be on my own photos or like photos that shoots have I done that we didn't post or whatever.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's one of the reasons why clients like working with me too, because it might be a situation where like I did a shoot 2 years ago. And obviously my editing style wasn't where it is now, or I wasn't hiring editors. So now, because I have the knowledge, I have these extra photos to practice with. I mean, yeah, I could post them, but I send them to the client like, hey, I've been working on new editing styles. Let me know what you think. And they're like, oh, I love it. Yeah, go ahead and post those. It's good. Like, I ain't tripping. Because I know I'm going to post them, so they're going to want to obviously repost them. So instead of screenshotting them, let me just send it to you. But you're right. As far as the profit margins, it can decrease. But like you said, you're your best editor. So I definitely been diving really into the editing process.
Does that make you charge more because you pay for an editor? No? So your price is going to be your price no matter what?
Yeah, and the only thing that'll make the price go up is obviously, let's say, for example, they choose package 1 that comes with 10 edits, but they say they choose 20 pictures. I'll just charge you for the extra edits.
For the extra edits.
Yeah. So I leave that window open because, I mean, I love when I shoot with somebody and they say, oh, you get 10 the high-end edits, and they be like, I can't choose just 10. Cool. Like that.
I can't pick it. You just need to pick it for me.
Or not even just you need to pick it for me. Like, there's 20 that I like, but the package, I'm like, okay, well, you could pay for extra edits, but that makes me feel good. Like, you really like what I'm doing.
You like what you're doing. For sure. Okay. How is your content?
My content could be better.
Your content can be better. Let's talk about that.
Okay, so
Cause and I told you like we're gonna kind of hot seat it, right?
For sure.
We're hot seating it, and so this is me like introducing my coaching skills to my YouTube channel. So
for sure.
When you say your content can be better, what do you mean?
So I'm gonna be honest. So before I joined EMC, I wasn't making
What's
content.
EMC?
EMC is Entrepreneur Members Club. Terry created this amazing community.
Oh my god!
Where we meet 2 times a week. It's only $47 a month.
Oh.
You spend that more than that on weed, so you can invest in yourself.
Facts.
So after joining EMC and you really getting on us about like why content is important. Now I started to realize everything is content. Like even when I was outside waiting for you to open the door, I remember the Tyrese interview where he not the interview. He was trying to get into breakfast. I was like, ooh, let me do this real quick before.
That,
yeah, so like it was perfect timing.
Got to copy the right cat.
Exactly. So, you know, I've seen other people do content much better than I. But then also, like we talked about in class, we're like, yo, you can't necessarily just wait on people to get the content done. You just got to do it. I bought this little tripod for a phone, and I realized it turns like this.
Yes,
it's sideways. So I'm like, ooh, because the idea that I had originally for the project that we're doing, I was like, I actually got at the studio that I work out of. Can we turn it into like a radio station? He was like, I think. I said, okay, I'm not going to wait on you. Let me think of another idea. And I thought about this whole idea of like this 2000s thing and like how, you know, when boys would meet girls, they'd be on the phone, they'd be on the laundry, the washing machine, they'd be on the cat, like all these different things. And so I did reach out to a few female friends of mine. I said, I don't need you to come nowhere. I just need you to record on your phone. Send me the stuff. I'll edit it. Don't worry about it. So a lot of my friends responded that we love the idea and about what you're doing. And also too, I'm just gonna be honest. I was lazy, and sometimes sometimes I can still procrastinate.
For sure.
I'm a human being, so I try like
as a human we procrastinate.
and I tried to make less excuses now. It's like what I've learned. I've done reels that I posted like literally in 5 minutes, like just record it real quick, throw it in CapCut, and then go. So I do want to get better at content, but then also even with posting on my social media, I was thinking about like I want people to see the work when they go to my photography Instagram. I don't want people to think I just post reels and things like that. So I try to create a balance. And sometimes,
for sure,
if business is slow, I'll go in my folder, find some pictures out there, edit it.
So let me give you this piece of advice. And we've had this conversation. I definitely think the marketing campaign that you're working on would be really dope. So there's this, I don't even know his name. I don't even follow the guy, but I know this girl that goes to this guy who does photo shoots, right? Mm-hmm. And he does these like big extravagant photo shoots.
I think you showed me some of his work.
Yeah, and so like she's like in her photo shoot, like they rented goats.
Yeah, I remember you showed me that.
So it's just like I didn't even, obviously you can rent anything in this world, but where the hell do you go to rent a goat? And they had like 4 goats for the photo shoot,
I think, and I remember I was like, yeah, is that AI? He was like, no, they rented those
goats. And so she was doing a photo shoot because she shelled hair, and she was just like, I'm the GOAT, the greatest of all time with this. And so she had like goats and stuff in her photo shoot, right? So being extra extravagant like that, right, is definitely great content. Obviously finding someone who's willing to invest in themselves like that.
Absolutely.
Then the second is like I as a consumer of content, I like watching people show the speed up time lapse of them editing pictures.
Yeah, you actually got me into that.
Man, the seeing how it was before to seeing what they do after, and then you see stuff like that you didn't even know that they edited, right?
Yeah.
I'm literally watching this guy like photo shoot the girl, and like strands of hair is poking up, and they're taking the strands of hair out, right? And then they're like changing their edges, and then they like, when they were showing, they were like contouring their face.
Yeah.
Right? Light brown, darker brown, and then poof. Now it looked like they got this
dodge and burn
makeup on, right?
Yeah.
Looks really nice. And so that's like really great content, right? Because it's showcasing like the before and after.
Right.
And as someone who wants to hire a photographer, I want to see your work.
Yeah.
But the best way for me to see your work is seeing what you do.
Yeah, I think taking clients or potential clients on the journey is very important.
For sure.
Like really once you was like, yeah, you should like, you ain't got no content to post, man, just screen record, you edit it. You edited it anyway. Like,
yeah.
And so once I figured out, it was a quick Google search of how to do it on my home computer, I started to do that. And I do like doing it. I need to repay for my subscription on my editing thing, but I do think that's important content just to show like the before and after. Some clients aren't comfortable with it because of the before.
For sure.
Because I've had a client that like, yeah, I like what you did, but like, this was a hair client that I had, and she was like, but I'm like twice as better at doing hair now than I was then. So I'm just not confident in that. Cool. No, I said, well, I took the pictures down, but I said, do you mind if I keep the recap up or the edit? She's like, that's cool. But she was just like, I don't want people to think that I just did that.
Yeah.
Because you didn't put like old picture. I was like,
right.
Good point.
You didn't put back in 2018.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was like, you got a point there. So that gave me something to think about too. Like, oh, this pictures, I shot this and so. But I do think like there's space to create all kinds of content. I've learned that just being a part of EMC, like literally us just sitting here doing this is content.
Content. Everything is content, man. Especially if you have a purpose.
Exactly.
If you have a purpose for it or know how to utilize it, that'd be really dope for the content, right?
Yeah, I get one of my friends, like, she's like, man, I got all these videos in my phone, but I don't know what to do with them. I said, put them in CapCut, like, and put some words on it, or like do a voiceover. Even like when I did the Photographer with No Car series, it was really starting to heat up.
Yeah, because it's people are nosy.
Yeah.
People are nosy, and so if we can feed into their nosiness.
Exactly.
It's definitely great. And
I felt bad because right after it started to heat up, I ended up getting a car. So I was like, well, I don't want to lie to people. Like, so it was like, but I do have intentions on bringing that back, but in a different way. So like last year I got rear-ended. And so like, and it was raining outside. So now I be like, when it started raining, I'm like, I don't know if I want to drive. So
right.
I decided, I was like, so if I have a shoot in the Bay Area, they have this thing called Flexibus that goes from Sacramento to Oakland. You can obviously get in the lift and all that stuff to go to wherever you got to go.
It's probably cheaper.
It's about, how
much is Flexibus?
If you get a ticket early enough, you can get a ticket for like $13.
Oh, well, yeah, that's way cheaper. Because ain't no Uber from Sac to...
Well, no, when I say Uber, I mean like once you get to like the Bay Area, you can Uber to
Uber from Sac
I actually kid you not, I went to my dad's birthday party and my brother didn't feel like driving me and my nephew home. My nephew lives in Oakland. I live in Sacramento. This man put us in an Uber. It costs $200 to go from Antioch to Oakland and then take me to Sacramento. And I was like, for $200, brother, you could have gave me that. I would have figured it out.
I would have found a way.
I'd have called one of my friends and like, listen, I got $50 for you to take me.
True entrepreneur.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So
buy low, sell high.
Exactly. So, but to the point, I got into the accident, so I'm still a little nervous about driving in the rain. I was ready. It wasn't my fault, but I was just like, man, I don't even want to. And then one time I was driving home and it was raining profusely to the point, and it was nighttime. I couldn't see. I was like, God, just let me get home.
Yeah.
And that experience, once I got home, I was like, thank God. And I was just like, when the rainy season come back, like if it's obviously a session that I want to take or whatever, I'm just gonna do it like this. Bring that content back.
Bring it back.
And be like, listen, this is only temporary. Yes, I have a car, but because of this, and this is why I'm doing this. Go on my journey.
Behind the scenes is really great content, right?
Yeah.
Showing how you set up, right? Like showing you setting up for a photo shoot, showing you having a consultation, showing you at the photo shoot. Like all of that is like great content, because if I'm looking, or if I'm a photographer or if I'm an aspiring photographer and I'm watching you set up, I'm looking like, well, what's that?
Yeah.
Like, what is that you just
I mean, just like when I came here, I seen the setup, I was like, ooh, I like that. Like, I admire stuff like that. Like I'm a real student of the craft.
Definitely. Shout out to Forward Learning, L3 Perspective, my guy Cam.
Yes.
They do this podcast. I was going to tell him, like, he needs to start recording himself setting up this podcast for content.
For sure.
Like, that's just dope.
I
People
mean, the
wanna
truth
know.
is,
Especially
everything
with
is
this
content.
setup is so dope, and people don't know. And if you look, like, if y'all can see the behind the scenes of all of this stuff, it's like, wait, what's that? Like he brought out new stuff today.
Yeah.
Just he got these cameras with these arms and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, that wasn't here last week when I was
Yeah,
here,
but
right? But if you as content you showcase that, people gonna be like, damn, what's that, right?
Exactly.
And then that also like helps you get more clients because you're showing them that you're investing.
Yep. Not only you're
in
investing in
yourself.
yourself, you're investing in your craft. And
Yep.
that way you'll take what they bring to the table serious. You know, I don't take what I do for granted. Like, it's
Right.
not like I picked up a camera and was like, I'm going to just shoot a bunch of women because, you know, I like shooting women or I'm trying to like be perverted or anything. Like, I really enjoy what I do.
Yeah.
And like, I've literally had a person tell me, you made me feel beautiful for the first time ever in my life. I don't take compliments like that lightly. Cause I'm like,
Right.
damn, like for real? But it was just like, to me, it wasn't even my best work looking, because
Right.
this was a while ago. So I've grown as a photographer since
sure.
then. But, you know, for someone to say that to me or just say, hey, you know, because of this, I'm not depressed anymore, or you made me feel better about gaining weight because whatever reason this person gained weight.
Right.
You know, I really like stuff like that. Really
sure.
makes me feel good.
What do you invest in yourself?
Absolutely.
For sure. So if I'm a photographer or if I'm an aspiring photographer, what is something that I should invest in?
A
What
good
is
camera.
investing with myself like?
Okay, a good camera.
Camera. Okay, let me ask this real quick. Camera or lens? Which one is more important?
Well, I've learned from Kevin Allen that lenses can be more important. Sometimes you can have like a little couple $100 camera. If you get you a good lens,
Yeah.
you good to go.
Okay.
So for my camera that I have now, I'm getting more into doing video as well. And so I know my camera's a lot older. So, you know, one of my good friends, he's a filmmaker, and he's like, man, just invest in the lens. I said, yeah, but you got to think about certain things with this camera. Now there's an upgraded version that those are not issues anymore, no matter what kind of lens you have.
Right.
So I definitely say get you a decent camera. I'm telling you, my first camera I bought for $250. I got bipped for my first camera.
Oakland.
Yes, Oakland. I had just finished a shoot at the lake too.
Damn.
Like, I went to go get some food, came back. I was going 5 minutes, and they got me.
Take us 30 seconds.
And but I went on eBay, found the camera that I have now, which was actually an older version.
Okay.
But the guy had bought the camera and never opened it, so it was brand new.
Brand new.
And it was like $100 and something, $30 more than what I paid for the other one. It came with lenses, all kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, let me get that.
Let me get that.
So you don't necessarily in the beginning have to spend $1,000, $2,000 on a camera. I actually wouldn't advise that if you don't know what you're doing. Lenses are important. Learning the editing process, but
Yeah.
if you don't know the editing process, hire somebody. But then also, again, take people on your journey. Like, I've
them what you're
literally,
learning.
I mean, Tough Bay is a great example. She set up her Instagram and was like, listen, I've never done a rug before ever, but y'all can go on the journey with me. And
She
now,
didn't even have equipment.
yeah, she didn't
You
have
saw her
anything.
Instagram and
So,
didn't have her equipment.
now she just celebrated 1 year in her business, and now she's doing rugs for celebrities. And like, even like, I wanted her to do a rug of my godson who passed away, and she was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I ain't that good at doing photos yet. So
Yeah.
come back in like 3 months. And I was like, I respect that,
For sure.
because the average person would have been like, oh yeah, let me get that money. And then they come out and be like, this do not look like this person. So I respected the fact that she was honest and she made content about it. And I like to do that too. Like, I like to go, I'm like, listen, man, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like, I tell people that all the time. Even though I'm good at what I do, I don't know what I'm doing. I just be trying shit.
Yeah.
Like, and if it works, it works. I started working with the spotlights and different stuff like that. I still don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
But there's great people that know what they're doing that are teaching me,
Showing you.
that's showing me, and I'm not too cocky or I'm not too much of an asshole to not learn.
Yeah. I think that's in this space we always have to be students.
Absolutely.
Right? We always have to be students because there's always something that we don't know.
For sure.
Right? And that's always going to help us become better at whatever it is that we do.
And that's why you should join EMC.
Oh, plug. Shameless.
But
plug.
no, seriously, like, I never told you this before, but like, you know, EMC has helped me tremendously as an entrepreneur. Like, it allowed me to stop being so lazy. But then having the accountability partners, and we, you know, without going too much detail, because you got to join to get the sauce. But just like we are a group of people that when it's tough and we got real life stuff going, we can go to each other like, blood, this shit is hard. Like,
Facts.
and you encourage us to not only join other communities, but create our own.
Yeah.
And, you know, with me wanting to create a community, talking to other photographers I work with, I said, I want to create a community where we can sit, like when we do the daily roses or thorns.
Yeah.
To be like, man, shit, my car broke down, I'm fucked up. Or man, I ain't booked no clients this month. I don't know how I'm gonna pay my rent. Like those are real conversations.
Yeah, facts.
Um,
Entrepreneurship ain't always.
Yeah, like
ain't always.
I mean, even for me,
money.
like the truth of them, I probably maybe have booked like 2 clients this month, maybe I think. But I was doing other stuff because I've always been an entrepreneur at heart.
Right,
so
right.
Really, my first journey to entrepreneurship, even though I didn't know about profit and loss, was like 5 years old going to the liquor store. You know, back then, you know, stuff was 25 cents. You know, go buy something, go door to door. And I think because we was kids, they just bought the shit from us.
For sure.
But then even going into
help a
teenager, when I was an artist, we was selling our CD. And we used to really be out there, like in front of the record store, Berkeley Flea Market, getting it.
Pushing.
And like a lot of times, like sometimes folks would be like, I don't listen to rap, but I love the fact that y'all not out here selling dope.
Right.
Give us $10. Like, keep
That's
the CD. I mean, we've had people give us as much as $100. I remember one of my friends, we was going door to door, and this was so crazy. We were in like Rock Ridge. You got 5 black kids, teenagers, baggy jeans on, coming up to your door, like, are you trying to rob me or something? We like, hey, we have our music, stop the violence. But so the lady, so my friend got the money. I think she gave him like $20. So the deal was, you have to wait till they get the money before you try to go, because you don't want to steal the sale.
Right.
So I go, as soon as he get the money in, I see it. The lady, she looked at me. She put some money in my hand, closed my hand, and she's like, I don't listen to rap, but I love what you're doing. So she walks away. I opened it was a $50 bill. And I'm like, but she gave me $50. It was like, what?
Yeah, that's good.
But it was just so moving into that, you know, kind of transitioning out of music in that space, getting into graphic design and photography. You know, I look at it that way, you know, understanding that it's not always going to be, you going to have good days and bad days. When I started selling my music on the street, it was really just so I could have lunch money for school. Like, because my mom couldn't always give me, like if I got $5 for lunch, it was a good day.
Yeah, these kids nowadays, $5 ain't enough.
Yeah, like
door dashing.
Exactly. Or it's like, you know, they want like crustaceans or something for lunch. And it's like, what happened to Wingstop, man. I went to Tech, so we used to have a donut shop across the street.
Burger King,
Burger King. But if you had $5 to $7, you can go get you some chicken wings, and fries, and a drink, and be cool.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know, inflation has ruined that.
I appreciate you coming on. Do you have anything coming up? What do you have coming up?
So I am working on a passion project of mine. And I stopped putting dates on it because I just want it to be right.
Right.
Like, and we often say, I just want it done. Like, there's a difference between done and right. So I want it right, not done. So the book is called Brown Sugar Bay, and it's a photo book of black women doing all kinds of different amazing things that black women do. And it's really one of those projects that I'm really excited about.
Okay.
Like, and we're creating different things. We're actually going to launch a fundraiser for it because I want to be able to travel. Because I see people online that I want to shoot. So I reach out to them and say, hey, you know, I'll fly down. I'll rent the studio, the whole nine. All you got to do, give you a couple dollars or whatever.
Yeah.
Just to shoot, like, this is what it's about. And really getting a breakdown. Like, I promise you, I'm not a creep. Like, I'm not trying to, like, because you got to kind of pre-reference it with that nowadays. But yeah, Brown Sugar Bay is something we're going to be doing not only with the book, but a short film. And then eventually I would like to do it as a festival. And yeah.
Vision goes. Okay. How can the people find you? Let the people know how they can find you, because somebody is watching this and they like, dang, I need to work with him.
So you can find me on Instagram at hometownhero.jpg. That's HMTWNHERO.jpg. You can find me on Facebook, same thing, Hometown Hero. I'm not really on Twitter. I've never really been a fan of Twitter. Like, I'll get on it, post some photography
Twitter
stuff.
used to be my shit. I was on Twitter more than anything.
Yeah, like I'll post some stuff and be like, yeah, I like Instagram better.
For sure.
I'm also on TikTok, Hometown Hero, without the JPEG. I'm trying to get more into TikTok. I actually like TikTok. You can learn a lot on TikTok.
TikTok is great for research.
Yeah, TikTok is an
ideas.
amazing platform for research, and also like the TikTok shop. Now some of the stuff is I bought a little content camera and yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean for $50, what you expect? Like, but yeah, like, and for people, if you have any questions, you know, if you want to ask me anything, like I'm not the person who's gonna be like, well, go Google it. Like if I have the information, I will give it
You
to
gonna
you.
help it. You gonna give it to him. You gonna help him out.
Exactly. Now, if I don't know, I'm like, hey, let me go Google this, and I'm gonna come. Let me get back to
I
you.
always let people know if I don't know something, I don't know it.
And I will tell people like I went to Oakland Public School, so sometimes like
Don't you disrespect my Oakland schools. No, I went to San Leandro, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you giving me your time. I need a photo shoot, okay?
Let's go.
I'm introducing this new character. I need a photo shoot.
Yeah,
With him.
I'm actually glad you brought that up because I want to do something with EMC that I think we should do. Get like a day, we go into a studio, like a white room, and do headshots. I think that's extremely important for everybody to have headshots. I also been working with some high school students at Castlemont. They have a program there called My Other Brother and My Other Sister. Amazing program. And so I went down there to film like their video newsletter. Some of the kids, the guy called me after he paid me. He was like, one, I want to give you a bonus because the kids really did, but they really like working with you. And they were asking specifically, can we do more work with him?
Okay.
And they want to like learn from that. That really made me feel good.
That's dope.
So I say all that to say, you know, I'm all about education. If I don't know something, I will ask.
Yeah.
I will Google. I will go on Facebook and ask people because that's what it's about. It's about exchange of information. We don't know everything, and YouTube is a great resource. But all that to say, if you reach out to me, I promise you, I'm a really nice guy. Like so.
Okay, cool.
So yeah,
he's a nice guy. He's not a creep. And he's a dope photographer. So I thank you for coming on. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching the Entrepreneur Podcast, the Entrepreneur Experience Podcast. Make sure you subscribe and share, and we'll see you next time. We out of here. Peace.
Peace.